are.
I don't know.
Yeah, now we need
the
to check.
thumbnails for the.
Okay.
I didn't realize that we're sitting on front. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, we're live.
All right, we're live. We're live.
You go. You're the intro.
Okay. Welcome.
Well, just
Yeah, this is live, so we can just recap while he passed the link and share while we talk. So, anyways, welcome to AsiaKore. It's a podcast here in AsiaKore where we discuss anime. So for this episode specifically, as each we do, it's about Haikyuu. And Haikyuu, what is Haikyuu? Haikyuu is a volleyball anime that came out a while back, but it's published by Weekly Shonen Jump, the same company that, as you know, Monkey, that you watched recently, Promised Neverland, Demon Slayer. So it's published in that same company. That company apparently published Gold, because they just published a lot of awesome stuff. So Haikyuu came, this anime that we just saw, Haikyuu episode 1 and 2. I've seen the whole series already, not the whole series, but all that's out. So, but you guys,
Everything that's out.
yeah, everything that's out. I just want, I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's awesome, but I just want to know what you guys think of it. So that's why I introduced it to you guys, despite it being late and old news. But before we get all that, let's just get to the introduction. Yes, hello viewer. So yes, this is live stream. So you guys, watching this currently, chat if you want. So let's just, while he's posting the link, we'll introduce each other. So one member at a time.
I am King Mean, aka Pretty Cool Guy, also known as Emptyways on YouTube. This guy.
Ahoy, I'm Monkey, everybody. Nice to see you.
Yep, this guy.
Eyes along here, aka Blood Bitch, aka White Knight.
Fizz in here, aka Naruto, aka I'm not Naruto, but whatever.
Cypher here, aka Pretentious Bitch, aka Sasuke.
Even though you're not Sasuke either, but it's an anime.
Bros and sunglasses bros don't exist
in this world.
For this.
Yeah.
Don't exist in this. So yes. So Haikyuu is currently still running. So Haikyuu, yes, it is still ongoing. The manga is still going, and the anime. Speaking of the anime, I brought the anime.
Is there a pause, or did they continue with the anime too?
There's pause in between seasons. So yes, as you can see, if you can see, that's season 1 and that's season 2, both complete set. Yes. So I watched the anime and I think it's awesome. So I wanted to support them. But anyways, the season 3 came out. Okay, these are the first season 2, but season 3 hasn't been released on Blu-ray yet. However, season 4 has just been announced for this year.
Cool.
Later this year, they're bringing it back. I believe same team and everything. But so Haikyuu in the manga and anime is still quite popular. So it's still going strong despite all that years of running. So, and of course, the build-ups get people hyped. So for this first 2 episodes, it's just an introduction, right? What do you guys think of it? Who wants to go first?
First of all, what does the name mean?
Haikyuu is pretty much just volleyball-ish, something as a phrase of volleyball somewhere in Japan, something relating to that source. So yes, each season has 25 episodes so far, except season 3, it only has 10 episodes. But that's a special season, and season 4, we'll get more info about that later this year.
Cool.
But yes, Haikyuu season 1, episode 1 and 2. That's what we just watched here in the show. Yeah. And the whole point of this podcast is to discuss about that and, hear each other's thought on it. So, who wants to go first?
You can go first. So, since this is your first introduction to a sports anime
and realistic anime,
and
right?
realistic anime, real life scenarios.
Which there's plenty in the Shonen Jump comic.
What is your take on it compared to the fantasy stuff?
I liked it. Obviously, it's different, but it still kind of had some of the same like the guy just learning his powers, just learning how to play the game and all that. Yeah. And then finds his sensei or whatever, and is gonna learn and get a lot better and hone the powers. Yeah. So
it's also a sports anime. It's about teamwork and commitment and stay true to yourself and your teammates and come off strong. They set
up the two mid lead.
Yeah.
They work their skills is perfectly together, but they're not
sharing the mindset.
Yeah,
they're clashing personality.
They have clashing personality.
So what I like about it is that they introduced the cliche, the trope about the two rivals building up so that they'll take on each other. But then reverse it by the end of the same episode that they introduced that trope. Now they're in the same team.
Right.
So within the same episode, they set up the trope just to reverse it. So now they're in the same team. They have to work together. But since they both got whatever each other need, it's compatible. One's the setter and one can spike. Now he has the speed and he has the setting ability to set the ball. So, character. Do you have any specific character that pop out to you for these first 2 episodes? Like,
I like the chick.
course she did. It was a lot.
She only had one line.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Like 3 lines. That's
well,
it.
but her aesthetics.
Yeah.
But Tanaka is cool. Tanaka, the short hair.
I kind of think
The
thug. I liked him. I liked the captain.
Yeah.
Of the basketball team. To be honest, the main character kind of seems to be a jerk a little bit. Like he talks the talk, but he can't back it up.
Yeah.
But that's my favorite part. Because, first of all, main character are usually designed for main character approach, but he's designing in a way that he seems like a supporting character, but he's the main character. That's the twist. First of all, how many main character do you know that talk big and lose? Like, how many main character do you know that does that? That's a rare thing in itself. Yeah. He talks big, he loses, but at the same time, he don't give up. That's the difference.
I just like that we started late because then we don't have to do the 1 per week episode thing. Right. If you want to, you can just watch the whole season.
Yeah. That's
it's
right.
pretty cool. It's
set up that way.
Advantage of jumping late, but the disadvantage of that is you don't get to support it when it first comes out.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a lot funnier than I thought.
Yeah.
It was gonna be
like the whole toupee thing.
Yeah.
How that guy was like, when they hit the vice principal head, his toupee came off. He's like, that was a toupee. He's like, you didn't realize it? I knew that the whole time. The main
cool
character
part about sports anime is it can turn anything, like even like ping pong, into like fantastic.
Those shonen
This is what it does. It hypes you up. Like
those shonen realistic thing. They can even turn a board game, like like chess or Go.
Make it epic.
They can make that epic. They
can turn
this
is how you hold the stone. You go bam.
Card games. They make card games like super intense.
Yeah.
It's
so what I like about this, since I've seen a lot more episodes than you guys have, all that's out so far, I like that it's unpredictable. It's actually not like you think. It goes direction that you wouldn't expect. Just like how the first episode he lost right away, and of course they became from rival to team. To partner, but
I kind of expect he lost right away.
Yeah,
he has no experience. He has no experience.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
No real battle experience.
It leads into that. But anyways, I like that they set up the team right as quickly as they did in these just 2 episodes. But there are actually more members. Obviously, there's more members. So as you've seen in the credit, there's more members. So each of them will get their introduction and development and all that. But to me, it feels like a little bit the energy of Initial D. And the excitement of Hikaru no Go, because it feels like Initial D in a sense that, like the team and how they address each other. Like for example, in the beginning, when the main character was playing with his rival, you have those 3 guys from that school. They were watching that game already. Yeah. Do you see that?
They're looking for more teams.
Those 3 guys
to come into their high school.
So they were already set them up then already. That's to me feels like something out of Initial D and a lot of other shonen, but mostly Initial D because Initial D has a lot of that. Where they would have a character appear, but it won't appear later. To observe.
To just observe.
And then recruit them later. The way that is set up. So, the volleyball, yes, speaking of the volleyball, the thing with Shonen Jump is that they don't just write fictional story when it comes to these sport genre and make things up. They don't make things up. So, if you see something in the thing regarding rules and the way they play volleyball, and
what's going on here?
It's actually...
That video setting.
Health red. So what's the
Pause
setting?
use keyframe frequency 4 seconds or less. Currently keyframe is not being set often in
Sorry, technical difficulties.
Yes, as we often have technical difficulties. As we often have. So
did you change the setting?
Yes. Did you change the setting? Setting while I discuss with him. So
Lazy.
Yes, that happens. That's a normal thing when it comes to our studio. It's not always consistent. So King Min, what do you think of the character other than like you said the girl?
No, that's
the team
good.
itself.
That's good. It's sports anime is pretty interesting.
This should
like
be on 2.
I haven't seen a bad sports anime that I've come across. To be honest, they're usually pretty good. Even like the short series one, they're pretty good. There's the typical cliche.
I mean, it says bad video setting, but it's good
still
overall.
Running. Like I don't play sports a lot, but every time I watch sports, every time I watch sports anime, it makes me want to go outside and run. But in reality, I'm like, I'll just watch the show, but I'll let the main character do all that. I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
But no, it has that same feeling where it pumps you up for the, obviously once they are done with the whole.
Well, it's Shonen Jump. It's supposed to inspire young boys.
Almost when they're all done with all the setups and stuff, when they're actually getting together as a team playing with their first team.
Playing fine.
I think it's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, it's amazing. It's actually a masterpiece.
All the super stuff that they do.
If you've seen some of the shit I've seen, there's a reason why I'm introducing this to you. It's amazing. Once they get on the game, the animation in the actual game, the one we saw, obviously that was nothing. They were getting slaughtered in episode 1. Right. But when the whole team come together and actually play with another team, it's ridiculous.
And they do a lot of that too in Shonen, where it's like a simple spike. They could put like a fireball. It's just not necessarily there, but it's just the impact of it. It's just give you that extra oomph.
Kind of like when they did the change in animation.
Yeah. With the spike in this one.
It's pretty cool.
And they have other, elements to it, which I won't get into, but regarding the episode so far, I think this did a good job setting things up.
So give a shout out to the Blu-ray release.
Yes.
And you can get it now by Sentai Films?
Sentai Filmworks.
You can get it from Amazon or any anime.
They released
the
previous 2 seasons because that's the current one that's currently dubbed. Season 3, they just announced that it will be dubbed, so it's coming soon on Blu-ray for US release as well. And Season 4 will be announced later this year.
And if you're a fan, comment, let us know, tell us what you think about the anime.
That one viewer is probably us, but
yeah.
that one view is totally us.
There was another who came in to get that.
In and out.
And then they saw King Mean and
they're like, nope, it's not happening.
Yeah, so
Sunglasses Bros, nope.
So how many? I don't think there's actually many volleyball centric story out there. I don't think so, right?
I know there's a lot of basketballs, a lot of football, soccer.
Regarding any medium, whether it's cartoon, whether it's anime, whether it's movies, volleyball, that's kind of rare in itself.
And I think it's funny that like in the story itself, it kind of play off like volleyball is nothing. Like, in terms of club activity, nobody gives a shit about volleyball. That's why he's just there by himself and had to join like the female group.
Another cool thing about these sport genre shonen is that they actually teach you how to play. Like you actually learn like what a setter is, what position does what. Like in Initial D, even if you're not a racer, you know what a drift is, you know what a gutter is. It's like they get into the detail.
They get into the
detail. KC, nice.
Hey, Jiray! Jiray's always here.
Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Do you watch anime? What's your favorite anime?
Do you watch anime?
Let's talk anime.
Yes, we're currently just finished our discussion and review of Haikyuu, which is a volleyball anime. Came out a while back, but we're just catching up. So we just finished the first 2 episodes. So no spoiler if you've seen it.
And in the meantime, let's talk about volleyball. Have you done any volleyball activity?
I played volleyball.
I played volleyball during high school.
And stuff.
Nice. Yeah. So I'm, like I said, back in my prime. Oh man, my prime.
Which is 50 years ago.
Love that one.
Oh, love that one. There you go. Yes, Haikyuu was awesome. Are you hyped for season 4? Because they just announced it.
Season 4, yeah.
I played in high school too. Awesome. Yes. See?
Yeah, so no, I'm not good at being the setter guy. Usually when I'm a setter, it either hit my head or my shoulder. That's how I set it.
You go backward.
Yeah, but what I am good at is the whole running and trying to get it. I'm not good with 2-hand either. I usually just use this.
So you're the guy that just flails around everywhere and throws.
I just go wherever it goes. I just hit it from sideways.
Here's the thing.
I can run.
He cover all over the spot.
I just go everywhere.
Because he has no position. He's just everywhere. Sometimes he ran and bumped into other people and stuff.
But no, I'm totally good when I was in high school.
Totally good.
Totally good.
I was totally good when I was in high school.
I can see him playing volleyball like this, And then like the ball comes in, just like, ugh.
That's all I do. I just like the main character almost. I do run and slide and don't give a shit and just try to hit the ball.
Yeah, earlier that kid slid and then hit the ball and his toe and bounce back up. Apparently that's legal. I always thought it wasn't initially.
He didn't kick the ball.
Yeah, he didn't kick it, but when you slide and it bounced off the heel or shoes or whatever, it's legal. So I checked that out.
Of course it's
like any body contact, as long as it doesn't touch the floor.
Yeah,
and also as long as you don't use force.
If you kick it, that's not legal. But he didn't kick it.
Yeah, so what were your position or what was your coolest thing in volleyball? Like what is your main thing? Like you're a spiker.
Every team, everything I've been on, you always rotate.
You do rotate, yes. So, they do rotate. That is
you usually have one setter that's like really good at it, and if you don't, then you just rotate and everything. But I always like playing defense. I like getting up and blocking shots.
I could never do that. It's usually my face that get hit.
Yeah.
But did you play were you guys playing in gyms or
Yeah,
outside?
yeah,
I
gym.
played outside.
I played both in gyms and outside, but I'm kind of like the main character in this show because I was short
But
and
you
then I
run
have
around a
speed.
lot.
I have like speed and I can jump.
But
So,
you know, a lot of the time, like when it comes to volleyball, even though people have different position, I notice a lot people just run into each other. Sometimes or just
Pretty much.
it's like wherever the ball go, everybody decides to go. It's like no one stay still or remember their
that's
spot.
when you're just playing for fun.
Yeah,
but
that's
when you're
you play for
playing,
fun.
With
but when you're playing with
Yeah.
a team,
Yeah,
with an
it's
actual
different.
team,
You
it's
rotate.
different.
Yes. So
Well, and my my family does a family reunion every year, and we get together and play volleyball.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah,
nice, so you can learn something from there.
yeah.
I mean, some of the episode later introduce things that I never even knew you can do in volleyball, but apparently you can.
I want to learn the
Yeah, the new do anime.
Yes, Dododo is still currently airing.
I saw like 2
Hype.
episodes of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hype.
That's currently airing as well, and that is
That's the
awesome.
one where the kid like had
Yes.
to go kill demons to get
His
his
body
limbs
parts.
and all that shit back.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Eyeballs and
Yes.
all that good shit.
We're
It's
not-
a
we
horror
haven't watched
genre.
that
No,
one
we
yet.
haven't started.
It's
It's still
definitely horror.
ongoing. It's still airing, so they're still coming in. More episodes still coming in. The horse is awesome. Yeah, see, that's the thing. These guys haven't seen Dororo yet. I've seen a couple episodes. I haven't
Hey,
got
I've seen
deep
the
into
movie,
it yet.
if that counts.
So I haven't got deep into it yet.
They
But
did a movie before.
No.
they released it?
It's old.
no. The anime
Oh,
came out
it's old.
way in the
Yeah,
past.
Oh, okay.
Like-
this is a
I think it was like
remake.
it was old. The anime was old, like way
It's really
before.
old. And then they came out
And
with the movie.
This
live action.
and then this 2019 one's a remake of that old anime that came out way in the past.
It's a really cool samurai horror theme.
So
And,
so what's crazy is that I believe Tezuka is the guy who wrote Dororo, but Tezuka has become such a legend that his name became an award, so known as the Tezuka Award. Tezuka Award is what you get if you're working in Shonen Jump if you publish a story, a couple chapter, and if you get a Tezuka Award as approval. It's a seal of approval. So these stories, these manga published today, are still getting recognition based on that award, and that trophy is named after the guy who wrote Dororo, so it's all connected.
oh, that's pretty cool.
Yes, I learned that from, again, Shonen Jump. Bakuman is about making manga. It's about two guys who want to become mangaka, which is manga artists. Yes, the remake is awesome, but I haven't seen the whole thing, so yeah, we can't
Makes
talk
me
much
look
about that
more
either.
wise.
No.
No, that's not wise.
Dumb.
So, Jare, who's your favorite character in Haikyuu? Since we're talking about Haikyuu and since you've seen Haikyuu. Facts, look at you knowing anime.
Yeah, we're not complete idiots. At
Yeah.
least those two aren't.
Hey man, I'm not an idiot. Where am I falling into this?
So
Being idiots,
I learned-
obviously.
I also learned a lot of that from Bakuman, which is another manga published in Weekly
Yeah.
Shonen Jump by the manga artist that did Death Note. So Bakuman is about the ins and outs of shonen and how the manga industry work in Japan, like how they sketch the script, how they draw, and how they publish on a weekly basis, and what awards gets author what recognition. So they explain all that in the show. But of course, they managed to make it exciting. You know, a story about people making manga. How exciting is that? Like, how fun would that be? But they somehow managed to make it not
Make it
boring.
good. Well, like you're saying with volleyball, it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, volleyball kind of is exciting, I guess, if you're into it. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
how many people are actually into it?
exactly.
Of us
To-
five,
to
how
be
many are
honest,
into volleyball?
I actually enjoy volleyball more than soccer.
Well, that's
To be
just
honest.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I
agree
like
with that
I like
100%.
to
But
play
you always
volleyball.
get,
just-
you always get
just
kicked in the
soccer.
shin.
I'm so used to just disregarding everything you
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that
yeah.
I was like, no.
Yeah, but well, soccer requires a lot of running. We're talking field work. You know,
I'm
field
just
to neck,
saying.
back and forth.
I
But,
think
And
But-
soccer requires a lot of falling.
but
down.
in turn, yeah,
And a lot of
Oh, my shin.
Yeah.
Oh, my leg, it's broken. Oh, you're not gonna... Okay, I get up and run around.
yes. But regarding volleyball, it's you're more, you know, in the
I
court.
say
You're more in the
volleyball
court.
is the real life version of
the
ping
first
pong.
the first time I got interested in volleyball is a video game on an NES,
Yeah.
like Super
Super
Spike
Beach.
V-Ball.
Yeah, Super
Yeah,
those
that
midget,
game's awesome.
those midget
That was-
character.
Yeah.
I had a blast with that video.
Yes,
Sure.
that game
Yeah.
was fun. So
Hey, 2 years.
yes. Hello, 2 viewers.
I'm
I'm
back.
back.
Oh,
Had a
Oh,
phone
is
call.
that
Okay.
Hope your
it's-
phone
it's
call
fine.
is interesting.
welcome back.
Welcome back.
Our phone call is usually like,
Yeah.
"Hey, what's up?"
Wang wang.
As I was asking you earlier, Jare, if you have any favorite character from Haikyuu, because we're discussing Haikyuu in this podcast.
Yes.
And you know, you got any specific character
I
that
don't
stand out for you?
remember that guy name? The bald guy.
Tanaka. He's that dub. He's like first impression, man.
He's fun.
It's all about first impression. He grin his teeth. His buddy's like, you look stupid.
Stupid stuff.
Yes, the coach. Yes, the coach is awesome. Like you were saying, the coach. Everyone just call him the coach, but he does have a name, and the more you watch, the more you'll get familiar with each of the character. But you know how Initial D has like drifting and gutter and all that other technique, and one hand drive and God hand and all that. This show has a bunch of stuff that's similar to that, but in a volleyball. So it's just ridiculous, and it's real. It's not fantasy. It's not made up.
Just like a Hajime no Ippo. They show real boxing style.
Yeah.
Like
Hajime no Ippo?
Yeah.
It's about boxers.
My all-time favorite sports.
It's ridiculous.
It's like
it's a boxing anime.
Imagine.
Man, it talks about the main character. He used the Tyson peekaboo block, and he does the Dempsey roll, which is badass.
He's an end fighter.
He's an end fighter, so he's more because he. The thing with him is he can take a lot of punches. And like he has a super strong punch, so he just needs one good punch to knock you out most of the time.
Well, the reason why he's good at getting punches is because he always get punches.
He always gets beat up.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's a slice of life anime. More or less, yeah. But it's also entertaining. It's like a slice of life, but at the same time, it's like something that's not normal. Like you don't see exciting volleyball stuff every day, but if you're following this team, like you just go on. A whole
we're also
journey
slice of life, like
pretty much just sit here, watch stuff, talk. Sometimes nobody talk to us.
We're pretty much slice of life. We're
the spice of life.
The spice of
that's us.
The slice.
Degrees of life.
That too.
What we do is we wake up and sometimes we shower, sometimes we don't.
You're speaking for yourself.
And then
like
we watch the video, we react, and sometimes we get hit, sometimes we get hate, but it's all good.
It's all good in the head.
It's all good. There's this in there. So.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to more episode of that.
Yeah. These are the complete collection. Again, there's 25 episodes each per set. And the voice acting. Let's just speak of the voice acting. The dub itself.
That's good.
What do you think of the dub?
That's good.
I actually like it. I mean, the dub is initially watching it. The storyline, the character are interesting, but the dub is interesting based on the language they use as well.
The dub is relatable to us.
Yeah.
For real. Don't forget.
Yeah, with anime twists. That's the thing. With anime, you can get away with things.
Oh, I want to make an anime about Reactor, like the goal of Reactor and why people watch them and stuff, and then like where the character is based off of
different
us.
Techniques of Reactor.
Yeah, we'll be showing like, oh, that's a star, and then just like zoom in on the thing, go, boom. That's totally us. That's it.
What's funny
Reactor
is
anime, boom,
like,
done.
Oh God, a dance move. It has to be a star.
What's funny is that I don't know how exciting. What's funny is that I don't know how exciting that is because we're not competing with anyone.
No, it's gonna be exciting.
Us
We should do that. An anime of reactors and
first of all, it requires talent to draw.
Well, we don't need talent.
There's better drama too when you're reacting.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a 10 star and you hold the guy's hand like, no, it's too soon for that.
Oh, welcome third viewer.
Hello, third viewer.
We're just talking about anime. I guess we can just talk about anime in general.
Yeah,
throw it out there.
I mean, it's AsiaKore podcast, but the whole reason why we label it Haikyuu is because that's the focus that we're discussing about today.
Jure, what's your favorite anime of all time? This is always the hardest question. All time, any genre.
Such a broad.
That's hard.
Because depending on
what
there's
so many different types of anime.
It's good to see all QT5, all of you guys this time because one of you was missing last time. Oh, one of us was missing.
It's
probably
good to
me.
see all.
Yes. Yes, all 5 of us are here watching stuff. We just finished watching stuff, but we don't watch it online for various reasons. So we come online after we already watched
awesome
whatever.
YouTube.
You can't say it.
Just stop. Just stop talking.
Make things worse.
Alright. So again, Shonen is a manga company that publish multiple genres. So you can't just say it's all fighting. So whoever says in Shonen is all action.
You also can't just say what's your favorite anime because there's so many different types. Like,
so many genres, so many mixed different.
That's why it's just tough, man. Because I can never come up with one single favorite.
Because what's your favorite anime of 2019?
Oh,
weird.
See, okay, so what do you think of the animation in this series, Haikyuu, from what you've seen so far?
What was the first season? What year did that?
2014. So what you guys just watched was 2014.
Some of the other stuff we've been reviewing seems a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because that's 2019 versus 2014.
Right.
But it's still...
And this is 2020 20. Actually, the animation in this gets ridiculous later down the road. Once they get to tournament and stuff, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I hope because
animation's ridiculous.
right now there's a lot. The animation is not really.
Oh, the anime that pulls me into mine. I'll start with that since I know which anime pulled me in. Ranma one half, and Dragon Ball Z. To be honest,
yes,
that's
old school.
And I'm not talking about like when it came mainstream in the U.S. I'm talking about with like VHS when there's no dub or anything. It's just I was introduced because believe it or not, I'm actually Asian. I just don't look Asian.
You just play.
You just don't look.
But no, like the advantage of being an Asian, you have a lot of connection with Asian friends, and so they go overseas and they bring back videotapes and then they record it for you and you watch it. And Ranma one half, man, that was my first introduction. I love it. And then I got into more of the darker stuff, MD Geist, which who cares about MD Geist? But I do, anyways. I thought they were pretty badass. But that's my introduction. What about those douchebags over there? Let's start with them.
So like you said, we watched anime before anime became a thing in
look at us, we watch anime before anime.
Well, that's true though, right? It's true.
That would be boss.
We watched Dragon Ball Z before Dragon Ball Z even get licensed in the US or we have dub.
Back then, it was like only VHS and
it's hard.
Rare video rental.
It's really hard.
It has to be an Asian store.
But one of the first anime that I saw was Dragon Ball Z.
And one of the first dub one is Ranma one half because that dub is awesome and still is awesome.
I love Ranma.
And Ranma got an interesting story.
Ranma is basically a story of a guy who went to China. He's a martial artist. He practiced kung fu with his dad or martial art. He got dropped into a spring water. They're all cursed. Magical spring water. They're all cursed. He dropped into the one where the girl died, so he became a girl. So every time he touched water, he becomes a girl. So the only way to make him go back into a man is if you pour hot water on him. His dad fell into the panda spring where the panda died, so every time he touched water, he turned to panda. And there's all sorts of crazy shit like that throughout the whole show. There's a character named Pantyhose, which is like...
Pantyhose.
Yeah, it's... Anyways, it's good stuff.
The show has nudity as well.
Yes.
So,
yes.
So that's what really drew you in.
No,
it was the story. Remember, episode 1 didn't have nudity, not too much. But
there's this, you know how Ranma can turn to a girl, right? Yeah. But there's this guy who likes Ranma, the girl version.
In the story itself, so he's chasing after her, and he thinks that Ranma's trying to steal her away from him, but they're the same person.
Look, Jerry said, and you do look Asian, you just have an all-year
tan. More or less, pretty much.
Yes!
How about you, Fizzin? What's your, what got you?
It's pretty much the same thing. It's pretty much the same thing, but, Ronin Warriors was pretty cool. Because every day before school, you would turn on the TV and watch that. It has to be super early, of course. Because back then, animes couldn't get a time slot where everyone can just watch. And there was no selection either.
Cartoon Network wasn't a thing.
And back then when you watch anime, we're talking like 80s or 90s. We're talking 1990s straight up with a 0 at the end.
Yeah.
So
it's tough.
During that time to watch, when you see anime, it doesn't matter if it's crap. You think it's special because it was rare.
It's just
you either have Scooby-Doo or whatever that's an anime that they have in the 90s, and they didn't have company that's fully established in dubbing. And there's no fan sub. There was no internet, no fan sub. So you gotta watch what you can. Well,
thanks to the internet, it became this big cult pop trend.
So the kids in America that grew up with anime in the 90s and the 80s and 90s are a select few. It wasn't a majority because you can't just
Sailor Moon was good.
We had a VHS tape.
So what translated? Wow, that's commitment.
That's
right there.
that's awesome.
Yes, there you go. That's awesome.
How about you?
Me?
Yeah.
So it was like first it was like Naruto and like Bleach. Like that was before.
So
that was before, of course, 2000. Right?
Yeah.
That was before it became a thing in America. Because we had like watching the Japanese subs.
That's because Naruto back then. It took a long time for it to get done.
Super long time. Like when it was like season 5 or whatever, it was already like season 1 in America.
Yeah, and that fits your generation.
By the way, that old Sailor Moon anime fucking have good soundtrack.
Oh yes, the soundtrack. We're talking about the US version, the dub. They add in their own original song. My Only Love and all that stuff. It's amazing.
It's different.
Sailor Moon has nice soundtrack.
And you're not old, Jure. If you're old, that makes us grandpa.
But that's the funny part.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It's like you're not old, but I'm old.
You're not old,
but
you're
we're
young.
old. How does that work?
Yeah.
So
always young at heart. That's what I always say.
So yours is
All I can say
is those big too. And then it introduced me to like Rurouni Kenshin. The show.
Kenshin's amazing.
And then like of course Sailor Moon. We had a VHS tape of that. So
Sailor Moon is awesome.
Yeah, Sailor Moon.
So I kind of it started from there, and I kind of went backwards, and then I moved forward.
Yeah.
So that's
So what about you? What was your first introduction to anime, as far as you can remember?
Dark Side Blues.
Ooh, that's a horror one.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
into the
Vampire
horror
Hunter D is what got me into anime.
Yes!
So,
They're classic.
Yeah.
Vampire Hunter D.
Have you seen Berserk?
no, I've seen Bloodlust.
Nice.
I have like the artwork book for
Yeah,
Bloodlust.
yeah.
It's
Bloodlust
pretty
is cool.
But no, I haven't seen Berserk yet.
So how do you feel when you first discover anime as a genre
different,
and the
right?
artistic, the style?
I liked it way better than the American
crap. Yeah.
Hey man, X-Men in the 90s.
Except
X-Men in the 90s was badass.
That's different.
So was the Batman show.
The animated.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not talking.
Okay, we're not talking about the 90s.
See, this is why
But
I like
it's better
this.
than DuckTales.
There you go.
And Darkwing Duck. And,
She gave us the seal of approval.
Boom.
we talk facts, but we also talk jokes.
This is why I like you all. You guys talk facts.
do.
We try to talk facts. We try to. I mean, sometimes.
Sometimes they're not right.
Sometimes our facts is wrong because it's,
Yeah.
Because this guy right here.
27 old? No.
Also, you're 40.
No.
You're
No.
40 years old younger than King Me.
What?
100 years younger than King Min. No way. King Min is like
I
a
age
dinosaur.
well for a guy that's 165, so
He's a dinosaur.
I'm pretty good.
See, that's not a
pretty
fact. That is not a fact.
He's still walking in the Jurassic period watching anime. So
Yeah.
those were the days.
I'm surprised you got.
So I think
skin and all
after
that.
Dark Side Blues and all that, I kind of stopped paying attention because D hasn't been in a lot of.
Yeah.
Hasn't been in a lot.
Bloodlust was
Bloodlust.
recent.
Yeah,
Well,
recent-ish.
yeah.
But then One Piece.
One Piece is good. Yeah.
Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
So kind of the big.
Yeah.
Popular ones.
Exactly. That is the golden age of anime. I mean,
Yeah.
1990 shit.
From the 90s onward.
From the 90s onwards, crazy. And 97 is really busy. 97 has.
Oh, 97?
The
Suncoast.
Boo arc.
Suncoast is ridiculous.
Okay, let's just talk about that since we're on that nostalgia timeline.
Yeah.
So, anime was really hard to get back in the days besides bootleg VHS,
Yes.
but Suncoast was one of the first company like in store that you
In
can
the
actually
US.
walk in and pick it up.
There's a whole anime wall of it.
Yeah, the first legit anime that I ever bought was Fatal Fury on VHS. Fatal Fury 1 and 2, and then the motion picture. Basically, Viz, it was just Viz Video back then. They released a lot of stuff. ADV didn't came out till later. What is it? Manga Corps. They put out a lot of VHS back in the days. Ninja Scroll, remember that?
Man.
But yeah, anime back then was expensive. It was like $30 to $40 for one volume that maybe contained 4 episodes.
It's more expensive than porn.
Yeah, it was expensive. But no, that was my introduction, and I still have some of the VHS that I bought from back then. If I can find it, I'm gonna do a good old nostalgia base of it. And
Yeah,
just
go through this.
go through to it and talk about it. But no, Suncoast was represent Suncoast, man. They introduced a lot of people to anime back then when it wasn't mainstream yet. It gives you a bit, and most of it is dubbed too, so that was pretty nice. I like dub. I'm more of a dub guy, but if I can't, I'll stick with sub. But either way, like I said, I watched it even before it was dubbed, so I can watch it in any format. I just like English because it's it's I don't have to read the sub. Sometimes I'm just lazy. I don't like to read subtitles.
Yeah, especially like something that's dialogue heavy. You just want to listen. So I find it interesting that anime in Japan is. Speaking of X-Men, Hope Storm gets a solo movie. Okay, interesting.
I hope so too.
Because now the
Storm's
X-Men
badass.
MCU tends to give people different characters solo movie.
Yeah.
So speaking of anime, I find it interesting that in Japan, Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon were like the pinnacle of anime back then in Japan. We're not even talking about the U.S. at all when it was still out in Japan, and those two are also the same pinnacle anime that kickstarted in the U.S.
Yeah, it's pretty
So
crazy.
they define two culture, both anime. It's crazy. It's not just Dragon Ball specifically. In Japan, Dragon Ball also made anime popular. So in the U.S., Dragon Ball also made anime popular. So it works the same way.
Yeah.
So yeah, and X-Men is awesome. That cartoon, by the way, amazing. They haven't made a cartoon that good anymore. Like they don't make them like that anymore. I mean,
That's how you know we're getting old. When you start saying they don't make stuff like that, that's how you know.
Have you seen the newer stuff? It's weird.
No.
I love Wonder Woman, and I can't wait for Wonder Woman for Wonder Woman to.
But when you think about Marvel, you think about Storm as a Trinity person who can go against Wonder Woman reputation because she's a goddess. Storm power, just her power alone.
Storm is actually Omega level.
Yeah, didn't she go Omega? Yeah.
Storm is actually Omega level.
Yeah, because Storm is she's actually powerful, and her power is not something you want to mess with. So just the X-Men alone.
In the comic, Gambit is also Omega level. Once he goes to Omega level, he can charge you without touching it.
Yeah.
So he can explode you from a distance.
That's pretty badass. Oh boy, I think we covered for this episode.
We pretty much covered. I mean, I think we went on a while now.
It was a good rant.
That was a good rant.
35 minutes. Wow.
Yes, we cover the one that started for this podcast, Haikyuu, and we covered that, and then we jump onto the news about season 4, and show off my Blu-ray set of that, and we talk about anime that dates all the way back. So we're like dinosaur. And we talk about how you're started with Naruto and everything. That's a whole new generation.
Yeah, and then I went backwards to your guys.
We should do a podcast of just
like
going over old anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, like bringing my collection. I can't bring all my collection, but I'll bring some of my collection.
Yeah, you have to bring the whole rack.
We'll just go over it. Yeah, I'll put the whole rack on my back and just come here.
Get it all stolen.
Yeah, we have podcasts that we just discuss about.
Yeah, I'll bring some 100%. Box sets. I got some cool, nice box sets to go over. Let's do that. Let's do that next week.
Yes. Oh, next week. Can you make it?
I think so.
Can you make it?
Cool.
Are we good?
Cool.
So, yeah.
I'm good.
So we can continue.
Jure, thank you for watching and participating with the discussion. It's
and
pretty
our other
awesome.
viewers that didn't talk to us.
It's fine.
Thank you.
It's fine.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having an awesome icon or avatar to look at instead
profile
of
picture.
Yeah,
profile
picture.
Avatar.
And so we actually know who we're talking to, and you actually share pretty much the same view as far as anime goes.
Yeah. Same taste.
Yeah, pretty much same taste. I mean, like we watched anime since back until now, so you know what's up as well. So, with that being said, this podcast comes to a close for now.
Yes.
For now. All right, enjoy your weekend.
Peace.